We are now recording as well.
Okay.
Let's see if my computer can handle it.
So I see some people in the chat. How are y'all this fine day? Just chilling. Nice.
Yep. Are you going to be tuning in to tonight's live streaming of the premiere of Book of CN recording? By the
It's
way,
gonna be a good time.
I can't wait. Truck yeah, brother.
We be vibing.
Do we have anybody who has not done a CN school before in the chat? Hey, good to see you, BMW 3 Series sedan. Alexandria McDonald, awesome.
Hello.
Good to see it's not just the same people every time. We do like some new talent every once in a while. I'm sure you're talented. Don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, well, maybe that's a different thing. What is talent really? You can't really define talent. So maybe then there is no one who is untalented because talent is so hard to define. It's really an abstract concept, and like what is talented really varies on the medium. You know, what would make you a talented opera singer probably doesn't translate quite so well to a more traditional musical. Oh, good point by Andrew. Talent is a myth perpetuated for and by Hollywood to sell more acting classes. That's a pretty good theory. I like it. Let's see, we got 24 people tuned in right now. We haven't even started the official mainstream yet. It's good. You know, bother your friends, spam your frost chats, get people coming. Always good. According to Galen Moffat, the definition of talent, according to Google, is a former weight and unit of currency used especially by the ancient Romans and Greeks. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that. It is indeed happening, Super Sultan. It is indeed happening. Put your box in chat.
We love to see it. Love to see it.
Love to see this.
We might start a few minutes late just to let more people get here.
Yeah.
But we'll be starting
on time
relatively soon. What is on time?
What is on time? Andy Lorian. Who could that be?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like an interesting individual. A good point, Andrew. Everyone asks what is on time, but not how is on time.
Or
how
on
is
time?
On time? I don't know how on time's doing.
Questions.
It's asking the real questions. Who is on time?
Who is on time?
I'm gonna go with not me.
Not us.
Why is on time? Why? I think again, this is a whole society thing. So link it back to society. Where is on time? Maybe if you go to another time zone, you'll just be on time because you're always early. Do we live in a society? Good question. Are we a club or society? I'm not sure which one we fall under. Then it'd be a question of, do we live in the musical?
Do we live in the musical?
Yeah,
we're a family.
Family, kind of. Cult kind of family thing. Yeah, it's great. Is cereal a soup? No. Soup is warm.
Not all soups are warm.
Oh, right. There is the cold soup thing. Is that really a soup?
Like gazpacho?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had it, but it seems like it's just something
it
else masquerading as soup. I don't know.
Time is a capitalist construct.
And Juliana's already flexing her mod privileges, I see. And yes, Bailey, Nintendo does need to boost Cornfolk's internet. The internet is just barely handling this right now. Can I imitate a broken washing machine? I don't know what a broken washing machine sounds like.
Have y'all ever had your Campbell's chicken noodle soup raw? Like crunchy noodles? Like what is
no?
Raw
it'd be
soup?
like drinking it from the can without heating it, which just sounds like sadness. But I'm not judging you. Does the musical machine go burr? The musical machine does indeed go burr. And do the musical directors have toes? Yes. At least I speak for myself when I say I have toes.
I also have toes. It would be very hard to dance without toes. So.
Oh yeah, that is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know because I don't dance. Does that mean that soup is soup? Yes, soup is soup. So Jordan, will Shrek Ramen be served during this? Sharing food is a little dicey right now. I think you're gonna have to provide your own Shrek Ramen. It's BYOSR. Mail order Shrek Ramen, yes. Okay, we'll have one more minute to show up and then we'll get started. Any last pressing questions from chat before we get to the actual rest of the presentation? Yes, I did press record this time. A minute in. but I did press it this time. Yeah, doing well, thank you, Noah. What is pressing? The sheer amount of deadlines I have coming up.
Fact. Why is pressing?
Because each prof thinks you have the entirety of life to devote to their course. All right, enough complaining about school. Let's go. Let's get started. So welcome everybody to the Carlton Energy Musical Virtual Town Hall. We're going to go over our plans for this year and answer any questions you might have.
So starting off with our agenda today, it's a rough agenda, but we're going to be going over our plan for the 2020-2021 school year, and that includes auditions, rehearsals, performance, and hiring positions. We ask that you keep your questions till the end because we want to get to all of them and we won't be able to see them as they're scrolling through while we're doing this presentation. So you'll have time to ask questions at the end. Just save them all till then, please.
So for those who haven't seen it yet, we're parodying Heather's this year, and the name is Leathers. You'll eventually see why it's Leathers. We'll start off. Auditions will be entirely online. So we currently have cast, chorus, dance, and band auditions up live. Now, you will be doing a video submission for them, and there are instructions on the website for what you need to record and how to do it. And the audition deadline is September 25th, so that's this coming Friday.
There will be callbacks over video call for some, not all people who auditioned for cast. So just because you didn't get a callback, if you don't get a callback, doesn't mean that you're not being considered for a part. It just means that we saw everything we need to during your audition, and it's just those that we are unsure of that we will be asking for callbacks. Also, unfortunately, due to our winter plans, which we will go over later, there will only be positions in chorus and band for those who will not be in Ottawa in the winter semester, with band priority in those who will be here in the winter semester. But you still can apply for those positions, audition for those positions, if you are not going to be here in person in the winter.
Yeah, we apologize for this restriction. We really wish we could make this open to everybody. But as you'll see later, the best thing we can do in terms of making a quality musical is have the ability to do some recording in person. Trying to record every single person from their own home and stitch it all together is an insane amount of work, and we would really prefer not to go down that route. Start off with the rehearsals of the fall semester, so there won't be any in-person rehearsals of the fall semester. Some groups may elect to have voluntary meetings. We will see, and that's something that will depend on the situation, public health situation. But no one will be expected to attend any fall rehearsals in the fall.
Yeah. Some rehearsals will be done synchronously, so things like lead vocal rehearsals or script read-throughs will be done over Discord or Zoom call type things. However, most will be done asynchronously. Directors will prepare resources, so videos, recordings, sheet music for at-home learning, so that you guys can go over the material at home and hopefully be able to familiarize yourself with it. There will be drop-in sessions for any issues or questions regarding those.
And we'll also have members submitting recordings of their individual parts, which will then be stitched together by editing. So different groups can practice their recordings. So for example, the band could do a recording for the lead vocalist or chorus vocalist to use. And vice versa to make sure we're all on the same page. and get everything nicely integrated before we do our final recordings.
So for winter semester, we are hoping that public health guidelines will allow for in-person rehearsals. If so, we will be enforcing physical distancing when we can, and if physical distancing is not possible, masks will be required. We're still looking into the feasibility of that. Obviously, we won't know for a little while, so we're keeping it open. If the musical has to stay fully online, fall-style rehearsals will continue. However, recordings will be edited into the final show.
So a note on the limitations of the fall-style rehearsals is the different internet speeds and latencies will make trying to have a Zoom call or Discord call with everybody singing extremely challenging. So we don't believe that's going to be possible. So it's likely going to be combinations of everybody doing individual recordings, likely done to a metronome or a cast recording or something like that. So we're following the exact same timing and then editing all that together, which is challenging to do well. So this is why we much prefer to do some in-person recording. Some pictures in previous shows.
And our lovely new 10th anniversary logo, because it is our 10th anniversary this year. If you didn't know, now you know.
The more you know. So for our performance, we are anticipating we're not going to have a live audience by March. That doesn't seem to be in the cards at this point. If things drastically change in the next few months, maybe we'll reconsider that. But at this point, we're not planning for that because it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. We're planning to record, edit, and stream the musical on Twitch. And if we need to, we will record the entire show online. But obviously, we would prefer some in-person recordings if it is safe to do so. It's much easier to record the entire band together than it is to stitch together 20 different recordings of everyone playing their own part.
So hopefully we will have the in-person scenario, and in those cases, we will be recording the band and chorus separately to allow for physical distancing. Vocal solos will likely be recorded in advance, and masks during the recording. Masks are required during the recording if physical distancing isn't possible, which is another reason why recording the audio first will be helpful.
Yeah. So what this will allow us to do is not have band packed into the back of the stage, not have chorus packed into the wings. We're going to get those done separately in a large space so everyone can be nicely distanced while still getting a good quality recording. And as well for the vocal solos being recorded in advance, this is both a ease of recording for us in terms of recording a video. Don't have to worry about recording audio as well. As well, it's also going to get us higher quality recordings. We're not going to be having to go through the theater system and record that. We can have the vocal soloist record on a high quality mic, and then during the film performance, they're going to be lip syncing essentially, which also allows them to focus fully on the dances, which is another advantage of doing a fully recorded musical, I guess.
So in things that are coming soon, involvement, we are looking for an editing director and an editing team, given that most of what we just talked about will require a lot of editing. So we will like these positions to work closely with our media team. We already have a media and film team, and they will work closely with them. They will be editing footage from rehearsals into the final performance, editing footage for promotional materials, and you should follow us on social media for updates on these positions coming out.
Yeah, when they're made available, they'll be posted on the website, and we'll be making posts about it on our social medias, both Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So summary of how to get involved. Right now, auditions are open for cast, dance, and band. Cast also includes chorus. And visit cnhmusical.ca for all the details. We have instructions for how the auditions are going to work, and we have forms for submitting your audition tapes.
For volunteer positions, signups will be posted later in the year for the editing positions that we just talked about, costumes, props, and sets, media team, and film team.
So obviously the nature of costumes, props, and sets is going to vary pretty significantly depending on whether we have some degree of in-person recording. So once we have figured out what our plans for the winter are going to look like, that's probably when we're going to start looking to recruiting a costumes, props, and sets team.
And as always, this is our contact information. If you ever want to email us, our email is right there, carltonengineeringmusical@gmail.com. Our website, very important this year. We will be putting a lot of stuff on our website. It'll be a centralized location for everything you need to know this year. So that's cngmusical.ca. And as always, we'll be using our Facebook to promote everything, and Instagram. We're trying to get more involved in Instagram, so we'll be posting a lot of stuff there as well.
Yep, Instagram's taken off. We've doubled our followers in the span of a couple weeks, so doing pretty good. And now, the time where we get bombarded with questions. Ask away, everyone.
So first question is, have you thought of what space you will use for recording? We haven't. We've thought about some options.
Yeah, we haven't really
However,
decided.
we haven't decided on anything. That will depend on what campus's rules are, what health guidelines are, whether or not it'll need to be a different space, like what the requirements are. So we haven't set anything yet.
Yeah, I think ideally we would be doing the film recording in Kailash Hall Theater, our usual place of performance. We're familiar with the theater, familiar with the staff there, and it's worked well for us in the past. If that's not possible, we'll have to look into other opportunities.
Second question is, how do rehearsals for dance work? So for the first semester, we are looking at a mixture of tutorial recordings and full speed recordings. I believe they will be giving videos for all of these separate dances. And then, so most dancers will have to try to learn some of it on their own. And then they will be having kind of weekly drop-in sessions where you can ask questions about the choreo, ask them to maybe show you something, but we won't be able to have fully like Zoom everyone dancing at the same time just because of latency issues.
The next question.
And then, of course, for second semester, it depends on whether it's in person or not.
Yeah. And so, another question: if you're planning on recording and streaming, will you be recording very early, or will the show be presented much later than usual? That's going to depend on how long the editing process takes. We have never done anything on this scale before. We're going to have to see based off of our early recordings in the fall, which are more kind of for internal use and for testing out how all the system works. We'll see how long that process takes. And then if we think it's feasible to record in the winter and stream it before the end of the semester, we'll do it. If we look at this and say, no, we're going to need a couple months to get the footage edited, we'll have to stream in the summer. It's really going to depend on just how much workload the editing is.
Also, for winter, one idea is that if we are doing fully online, so everyone's separate, we will start recordings basically throughout the entire semester. So hopefully we can be piecing it together throughout the semester. But again, it will depend on on the workload.
So next question, what is the policy on video editing for cast auditions? Like if you were going to do 2 parts of a duet on your own.
So we would prefer that you don't edit your videos very much. We want to see just you singing plainly, because
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
it's a
we would have
better way
gotten in an
to.
audition. Trying to keep as much of the audition part of the audition video as possible. So yeah.
Yeah, I think your audition recordings should be of a similar format to if you actually act to physically come in and do that audition. I don't think we want something super edited, and that's a good point that maybe we'll have to look into making very clear rules for how this works. There's a lot more freedom when we're doing recorded auditions, definitely.
The next question is, can international students be a part of the filming team who are not in Canada as of now? So as far as filming team, because filming mostly takes place in person, as our filming team would be the ones that would be with the filming equipment, filming people in person. I'm going to say probably not. As far as our editing team, that is very open because editing can happen from anywhere. So if you wanted to be a part of the film style of team, I would suggest the editing team if you don't know whether or not you're going to be in Canada.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you're looking, there'll be various different roles in the editing team as well. And if what you're looking to do is more the video end of things, if you're doing about film, there will be opportunities on that end. I think there's something kind of just to, when we put out application forms, kind of looking to see there'll be some questions about what kind of things you'd like to do. That'd probably be the place to make your interests known. The next question is, how many of the rehearsals will be synchronous? So that really depends on the group. For cast, we will likely be having weekly read-throughs, similar to the normal way we've run things. Just it'll be over a voice call or a video call, depending on what platform we use. For things like dance and band, there won't be quite so many synchronous rehearsals really until we start looking into in-person rehearsals if possible, just because trying to have everybody be perfectly on time is really challenging when everyone's got different internet connection and everyone's got different hardware.
And then vocals is kind of a mixed bag. There will be non-synchronous for most of chorus rehearsals. However, some leads will still have a weekly and or bi-weekly vocal rehearsal for their lead parts. Those are still to be decided, but they will be on a more regular basis for the synchronous weekly lead vocal rehearsals.
The next question is, for band auditions, how preferred are video recordings versus just audio recordings? We would prefer a video recording because we want to see that it is you. But if a video recording isn't possible, you don't have the equipment for it, that is possible. What we'll likely be having as a system is you're going to be just saying your name before the recording starts as a way of kind of validating that it is indeed you, and you didn't just pull off some professionals recording off the internet.
Next question, for auditions and for future recordings, what should people do if they don't have the space in their homes to record a dance? That is a good question, as I also don't have space in my home to record a dance. I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't really thought about it. Obviously, that does propose a challenge. especially when doing things full out and learning dances. So we might talk to the we will talk amongst ourselves, talk with the dance directors and see what we think we can do about that. But I'm sorry to say that I don't have an answer for that right now.
The next question, is there a type of dance we should be more familiar with prior to auditioning for the specific musical?
So I wouldn't say a specific style of dance. I mean, most of the musical happens in a more jazz format. Though it's a mixed bag of a whole bunch of different styles. We kind of don't really fall into a specific category. There is usually a tap number every year, so if you know tap or are familiar with tap, then that's cool. But I didn't know tap when I started doing musical, and it was totally fine. So a lot of people don't know tap, but they still do the tap number, and it's super fun. So I wouldn't say any particular style.
Next question, for band auditions, which song are we playing again? I believe it depends on what instrument you're auditioning on, and that is available on our website in the audition instructions. Yes. There's a Google Drive of sheet music, so you can figure out what music there is for your instrument. And if your instrument isn't included on that list of sheet music, there's contact emails for the band directors. Okay, any other questions in chat?
I'm not seeing any. I mean, there's a question, you like jazz, but you know, I do like jazz. Thanks for asking.
Okay, question. So if there's going to be a specific editing team, would it be possible to get Michael Mia edited and released this year? There are some issues with the footage. I'm not positive of the details, but we need to figure out what footage exists for that.
Yeah.
It's a complicated situation, and it's something we're going to be working on in the background.
For sure. So the question, how many people approximately are you looking for the dance team? So usually, on a usual year, we aim for around 15. However, this year it's going to be really different. It will all depend on who auditions. Usually, there isn't really a number going into it. I mean, we end up with around 15 every year, but it's not like we're like, okay, there's a cutoff at 15. It usually depends on who auditions. It'll also depend on different gathering rules. That's what I was thinking of. And we might take those into consideration. We're still not 100% sure. It all depends on who auditions.
Yeah. That is something more up to the dance directors than anything else. And a question that was answered in chat, but will this be recorded, this stream? Yes, I'm recording the stream and will be posted to our Twitch channel afterwards. Question, in terms of the auditions, when will people hear back about the audition results? Let me check, I believe. So
I believe callbacks will be released on the 30th of September, if I have that date right. Callbacks will run from about the 1st to the 3rd of October. And then sometime in the week following callbacks, should be midweek, Wednesday-ish, we will likely have a cast list, and that will all be going out then. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I'm gonna check the tentative schedule. I'll just open it up right now.
While you're looking for that, I'm just going to answer the next
Yep.
question because it is dance related. Is there more of a priority for upper years in dance since a lot of schools only take the upper years who've been a part of the team before? No, there is no priority for anyone. Everyone who auditions has an equal opportunity, and it's really up for grabs. And I wouldn't really call it so much a team. It is they're just dance positions for the musical. We don't run like a dance team at all. Carlton has a dance team, but we don't run our dancers like a team.
Okay, so revisiting the when people know about audition results, our tentative plan has that being done the week of Monday, October 5th. So likely earlier in that week, unless we have some particular issues or things get behind schedule. So likely around, say, October 5th to 7th.
So there's a question here. Just to confirm, I'll be able to be a part of the cast even if I live in Toronto, right? So as we said with auditions, we are allowing people who won't be in Ottawa in the winter semester will have the opportunity to be a chorus position. Chorus is generally singing parts. So the cast, if you are not going to be in Ottawa, you might not end up with a speaking role. And that's just due to availability for filming. And that's unfortunately what we've decided we're going with this year. But you can definitely still be a cast as part of the chorus, which means that you can sing with us.
Any more questions? Okay, this question, when will the decision be made to go completely online with the musical? That one, we haven't determined an exact timeline for that. It's going to probably be some point during this semester because we need to make a decision early enough for us to plan out our costumes, props, and sets and those kind of details. It's likely going to really depend once we get some more firm answers from Carlton about the ability to do some level of recording on campus. That's like a major factor, but there's no specific time at the moment.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it's close enough to the winter semester that things aren't going to change again, as things are changing constantly, but far enough away that we can react to it, and we will have a plan in advance for what we are doing. Are there any more questions? Thanks, Andy. When will the stage crew be attending sessions? So that will also depend on whether or not we are doing an in-person recording. As if we are not doing an in-person recording, we're not sure that there's really a need for a stage crew. However, if we will be doing an in-person recording, then stage crew will likely be hired sometime in the winter semester, and then sometime just before the recording of the musical, when we have decided we're going to do the bulk of the video recording, we will announce when the stage crew will be needed. It's generally about a month before the show. I guess it's not really a show this year, but it'll be about a month before the recording, just to get familiar with how it's running. But it may be different this year. We don't 100% know.
The nature of stage crew is really up in the air
really
until
dependent.
We have our plans figured out for how, if we're doing in-person recordings and how. Next question. If there are in-person rehearsals or recordings for band, you'd be looking for a large indoor space, or is outside an option? Outside's probably not going to be an option because by the time we're doing rehearsals, it's going to start being winter. So for all of our actual recordings, going to be taking place later in the at the earliest we might do some recordings in November probably. Most of them are going to be done January, February. So I don't think anyone wants to play outside then.
Also, you have sound issues when recording outside, but yeah, it's probably not going to be outside.
No more band garage, please. Any other questions about things? How are we doing? Pretty good.
Thanks for asking.
It's a busy time, but fun time.
Yeah, musical's always a great time. Just excited that we can still do it this year.
Yeah. You liked having to wear a jacket during practice, Paul? Really? Really? You're a braver soul than I am.
We have a question. Who are this year's directors? I'm going to pull it up right now so that I don't miss anyone. Because I'm not great at that. All right. So, this year, obviously, Adam and I are the executive co-directors. We have, I'm going to go through alphabetical order because that's the order that I have on my phone. We have Alex Miller as props director. We have Amanda Marsden as one of the dance directors. Andrew Moffat as our sets director. Gabriel Karam as one of our band directors. Haley Lorden as one of our dance directors. Hannah Phillips as our writing director. Jonah Gaudette as one of our band directors. Jordan Klein as our stage director. Juliana Clark as our media and film director, or one of our media and film directors, sorry. Noah Pacheco as I need to get this right.
Vocal coach, I believe?
A vocal coach, yeah. Vocal coach. Paul Hewson as one of our band directors. Rebecca Skanga as as our tech director. Ryan Campbell as one of our media and film directors. Samantha Brown as our vocal director. And Sarah Hillock as our costumes director.
We got a stack.
And I hope I got everyone, because
sounds about right.
And
there is room for one more. There's room for an editing director. That could be you.
That could
be you. Just
saying.
Francis' question. Wait, do we have a compound name for Adam and Colleen? I forgot if we do. We've been using .ca. That's what we've been signing off with so far. If people decide there is something they would prefer to see, okay.
We're open to it.
That's what we're going for now.
Currently we got .ca. Yes, Noah does still exist.
Like, people don't just disappear into the void when they graduate?
I would prefer not to be nerfed, thank you. But
Nintendo does need to nerf Andy Curtis, though. That's a fact. Now, I'm not sure if Nintendo needs to boost the CN's internet, because so far the stream's going okay. Now, when we start trying to do more complicated things, we might need a boost, but we'll see about that. Editing question. Have you decided on what software you will use? No, that will likely be to discretion of the editing director, in combination with the media and film directors.
Leave that to the professionals.
I don't know much about
editing. Another question, is there a tentative date set for the performances? No. That will depend entirely on how much work the editing is, how long it takes. We are hoping, and it is a hope, that it will be before exams at the end of the year. But we are not guaranteeing anything.
All right. Any other questions? When you're choosing editing director, that's to be determined. We're hoping to have that application out fairly soon, but there's a lot going on with cast auditions as well, so we might let cast auditions close and then get editing figured out afterwards. We'll have to see. Okay, response from Juliana about editing, most likely Premiere Pro. Andrew Moffat, when does the CN's musical go on Broadway? When they start responding to our emails. Can't we do this year barefoot? There's nothing stopping you from being barefoot in your own home for the in-home parts. There, no shoes, no shirt, no service might apply to in-person rehearsals and recordings.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no, and the toe spam starts. How many of the costumes are leather? At least 3.
At least 3. Possibly 4?
Probably 4.
Probably
maybe
4.
More.
I'm thinking 4. Yeah. So there is a question, mostly for Juliana. I don't know if you've seen it. Y'all planning on giving folks licenses, or will you require them to buy their own? I assume this is for the software. That will be determined.
Yeah. We're not going to be, we're like not expecting anyone to purchase software. So if we're not to do something, we're probably going to provide licenses. There are plenty of softwares that allow for students to use them free. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Premiere Pro is one of them, but that might be a consideration when we are doing the editing, is finding something that has free license for students. Question: what does it matter to you what space we sing in for our auditions? Some spaces are more acoustic and than others. No, I would say choose whichever space makes you sound the best. It's up to you, and we will do the best that we have. We recognize that there may not everyone has a perfect recording space. Just choose whichever space you think is best for you.
Bathrooms are great acoustics. It is true.
Can part of the musical be in Minecraft? We weren't planning on that. I'm not opposed to that either, though.
Are there any other questions?
Are y'all as hyped as we are? I don't know how hyped you are, but I'm pretty hyped.
Yeah. I'm just glad that we can do something this year. A lot of groups are not able to do things, and I'm glad that we are figuring it out and that we can still have this be a part of our lives.
So, question: can I submit a music video, single shot, I'm assuming that means for an audition? If you're doing a single shot recording, I think that's fine. I don't know what else would make it a music video if you're gonna start incorporating props or costume changes or something like that. I don't know, but really, but we're just looking for the vocals.
Singing voice.
So
yeah,
if you want to go through the extra hassle of making it into a music video, we aren't going to stop you. But
if
really,
you don't
we're just
think
going to be
it's
listening to your vocals.
yeah, so if you don't think it's gonna take away from your vocals, I guess go for it.
Oh, that was a joke question that we answered seriously. Oop.
Oh, Colleen looks good.
So Bob's question: how mad would y'all be if I hypothetically rickrolled y'all for auditions? I did that for a band audition in second year. It was great. You are free to rickroll us. Is a rickroll an accurate assessment of your vocal ability? Maybe. I don't know.
If you wanted to audition for a comedic role that doesn't really sing and you had to pick another song to sing, then go for it.
Joke. That's somewhat of a not very relevant question, but I'll answer it still. Super Sultan. What did you guys eat for breakfast? I had some fig walnut bread. It's quite tasty.
I had peanut butter and bacon on an everything bagel. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It sounds really weird, but it's really good.
Oh, interesting. Question: could one take the original lyrics of one of the three songs we have to choose from and change the lyrics to make them funny? I'm thinking no, just because we want to have the set pieces be as standardized as possible, so we're comparing everybody on the same basis. Yeah. Whereas if you were to change up the words, the difficulty of singing could vary, the ability to make things sound good could vary, and likely would be making it harder for yourself. Can I submit bloopers? We probably aren't going to be watching them. We're going to have a ton of clips to watch for these auditions. It's going to be a really busy time for us.
Yeah.
So likely we're going to be watching what we agreed to watch what we said we'd watch, and that is it, unfortunately.
Yeah. We are going to be watching approximately 5 videos per audition. So it's going to be a lot already.
Are we allowed to swear casually in our audition?
Pretty sure some of the monologues have
I think
swearing.
some of the monologues do have swearing, actually.
So yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah. What about professionally? You can professionally swear as well. That is perfectly. I don't know how to professionally swear, but if you have that gift, by all means, use it. You can business casually swear if you have determined how exactly the art of business casually swearing works. You are absolutely free to do it. I love all these attempts at describing what a business casual swear is. I really appreciate his energy. Are there any more questions? Preferably the serious ones first, but I'll take a few goofy ones here and there. Apparently I'm supposed to laugh. Okay. Should we wrap this up? Probably. Let's say we'll stop
We'll close the stream
at
2. Yeah. So we'll anyone who has any questions,
we'll take questions until then, and if there are more serious questions that come in last minute, we'll extend it. But for now, we'll tentatively say ending at 2.
So a question from Andy: are we allowed to sing another Heather song as our own choice? Yeah, I don't see why not. Your other choice is whatever song you want, and other Heather songs could be whatever song you want. So sure, go for it. As long as you're not singing the same song twice. Please don't sing the same song twice.
Don't be like those people in band who auditioned on the same scale twice because you just change whether it was in sharps or flats. Don't be those people. You know who you are.
I just want to make sure I didn't miss any questions.
Yeah, and if we did miss a question, repeat it. We're trying to keep up with everything in the chat, but we're not perfect. A follow-up from Andy's? Yep, go for it. Okay, while waiting for Mimos to finish typing their question, I'll respond to the question from Slippy. When are auditions due? So auditions for cast, dance, and band are due Friday, September 25th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That information is all available on the website too, so you don't need to scroll this down. It's there. Thank you, Juliana. Answering a joke question because I like it. In the case of a shower audition for quality trumpet audio, do you care whether the water is running? Once again, the purpose of an audition is to assess whether you are good. And I'm assuming the water running will make it harder for us to discern the quality of your trumpet playing. So question, if the song choice is a Heather song and the Heather song is actually a duet, is it okay to holler at a partner to sing with us? I think we would want to have you singing solo for the audition tapes, just because we really want to assess you and only you for the audition. Are you aware that, or any other combination you might like in reference to the recordings for auditions, kind of leaves the option to record every note individually?
Please don't do that. Please don't.
Do we need to stipulate that you have to do it in a single take? Maybe we have to, because of people like you who like to find those loopholes. It's a question, should then the solo person sing both parts? This follow up to the can I have someone else sing a duet with me question. So then should the solo person sing both parts, or should we decide which character's part we're going to take on? I think you're free to take on just one of the character's parts. That would make probably the most sense.
Yeah.
If you do want to have some, if there is kind of a back and forth and you want to sing both parts of that, you're welcome to as well.
Though we would prefer solos just because it's easier for everyone involved if you sing a solo. But if you really want to sing a duet, we would prefer you stick to one side of the duet, so that we can really see how your singing is, and we're not focused on having to listen to two different parts and you're singing two parts at the same time, going back and forth.
Yeah. And once again, single take is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
That was a previous question if I could record both parts of a duet. And we're looking for single take. That's easier just to make a judgment of your singing when it's just one of you singing. You can't deal with two. Two's too many. Four minutes left to our tentative deadline. Are there any more serious questions or joke questions? Really, we'll take either. Ooh. What are you most excited to do as directors this year? Despite everything going on with social distancing and such.
I mean, going into the year, one of the things I was really excited for being a director is getting to do the staging. I was really excited to do staging, and I might still get to do that, and I'm hopeful that I still get to do that. But I mean, obviously, we'll see. But that's something I would be excited for if I get to do that.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's that moment when things start to click. My favorite part of band directors when things, the little pieces you've been working on all this time, they suddenly just click, and that moment is just wonderful. Oh, Bailey asked if I mean 2 days before the performance. No, I mean during the performance. No, I am joking, by the way. A lot of the stuff is clicking much earlier than that, but there is always that one little thing that you struggle to get clicked, working just right. Have I heard of enunciating? No, I'm in band. I normally did band.
Enunciate.
See, Jordan, I would sing Wonderwall, but there isn't enough time. There's only 2 minutes left in the stream, and I would take up more than that. So unfortunately, you can't. You should have asked us earlier.
I love it, Andrew. It took me a sec, but I got there.
Can we flip a table this year? It's probably an occasion where a table could be flipped. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll flip something different. We won't just use the same thing every time. We'll flip something other than a table.
Jordan, if we smash a table this year, you're the one cleaning it up. I want you to know. Like Table flip to electric boogaloo.
Andrew Moffat would like to point out, please don't break his table.
Sweep the table, also a good option.
Yeah. Last call for a serious question. Speak now or send us an email. Like, it's not that we're holding your fees. Just send us an email.
I believe this is a serious answer, a serious question. So, Noah, we have not. The question is, did you guys announce the charity already? We have not announced the charity already because we are unsure of the format of the musical and our revenue capabilities. Therefore, we do not want to. We don't want that we may not be able to give money to. So,
yeah,
that will be announced
once we have a better idea of our ability to fundraise, we'll make a more concrete announcement on that.
Yeah.
And good point from Juliana. Follow our social media. So Facebook, the Carleton Engineering Musical. Actually, let me just pull that slide.
Go back to the contact page.
Oh yes, we have a whole slide for this.
We have a whole slide for this.
Woo! The things.
All right. We are gonna head out.
Oh, actually, we actually have a question, a kind of serious question. Will you try to get partner on Twitch so you can do bits and subs? From what we've learned so far, the amount of people you have to have watching your stream on a regular basis to do set up that kind of stuff is too much for our capabilities. If we find a way to do that sort of program, we'd like to, but at the moment it seems like we'll be a big enough channel to do that.
But we are actively looking into fundraising options, so we will hopefully be able to do some sort of fundraising for a charity as we usually do. Maybe not as we usually do, but we will try to do it nonetheless. All right.
And thank you everyone for coming out. And again, if you have any questions, please send us an email. We'd love to answer them.
Email, Facebook message, Instagram message, any of them work.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, friends.